We will continue with the remaining part of the lesson. The boy who broke the bank, page number 52. Actually, we are in the concluding part of the lesson. In this video, we will definitely going to complete the whole lesson. Paragraph number 2, page number 52. By noon, the small bank had gone through all its ready cash, and the harassed manager was in dilemma. Emergency funds could only be obtained from another bank, some 30 miles distant, and he wasn't sure he could persuade the crowd to wait until then. And there was no way of contacting Seth Govindaram on his houseboat in Kashmir. Because of rumor, very critical condition is happening in the society. By the noon, small bank had gone through all its ready cash. There was not cash at all because many customers were taking their money back from the account. Harassed manager was in dilemma. Dilemma means very difficult condition arose before him. Emergency funds could only be obtained from another bank, some 30 miles distant. Another bank was there, but it was 30 miles away. He wasn't sure he could persuade. Persuade means make someone to believe. The crowd to wait until then. Very difficult condition was created before the bank manager. He was in the state of dilemma. That is why it was very difficult time for him to take decision, and there were a lot of questions before him. There were question of returning the deposit of customers. There were questions of keeping the proper status of bank in the society. A lot of questions were there before the bank manager, and there was no way of contacting Seth Govindaram. Because he was holidaying in Kashmir, he was enjoying there, and Seth Govindaram is unaware about this reality. People turned back from the counters and told to return the following day. They didn't like the sound of that, and so they gathered outside on the steps of the bank, shouting, "Give us our money, or we will break in and fetch the Seth. We know he is hiding in a safe deposit locker." Mischief makers who hadn't have a paisa in the bank joined the crowd and aggravated their mood. The manager stood at the door and tried to placate them. He declared that the bank had plenty of money, but no immediate means of collecting it. He urged them to go home and come back the next day. Now, all the people, all the customers of the bank, they were trying to get their money back, and because of very crowd, bank was out of cash currently. They didn't. People were turned back from the counters and told to return the following day. Bank manager requested customers, "I am going to give your money next day. You can come here next day." But people were not in the state of listening. They were very angry mood. They were saying that, "No, we want our money right now, at this moment only. Otherwise, we are going to fetch Seth Govindaram. We are knowing that he is hidden inside the safe locker room. We will fetch him." Fetch means forcefully. Fetch the Seth. We know he is hiding in a safe deposit locker. We are knowing the reality. He is in the bank. Mischief makers who didn't have paisa in the bank joined the crowd. Now, some people, mischief makers, who do not have any account with the bank, but they join the crowd. They want to enjoy the crowd. They want to enjoy that climax condition. Then what did they do? They aggravated their mood. Aggravated means annoyed. They started telling people, no, you should not go back. You should withdraw your money this day only. Otherwise, you are not going to get your money back. Mischief makers, remember, we should be aware of these certain kind of mischief makers. They misguide us. They provide false information because of their selfish motive. Sometimes happiness for their monstrous happiness, sometimes for the sake of money also. The manager stood at the door and tried to placate them. The manager tried to tell all the customers, we have a lot of money, but there are no means to collect that money at this moment. We will return your money, but it will take a time. He urged means request them to go home and come back the next day. Give us only one day. Within the period of one day, we will collect all the money. We will return your all money. We want it now, chanted some of the crowd. Now, now, now. A voice came from the crowd. We wanted our money right now. We are not interested in your complaints, arguments. We are not interested in your problems. We want our money back. And the brick hurled through the air and crashed through the plate glass window of the People Nagar Bank. Someone threw a brick to the bank. As soon as the person threw a brick, the glass broken. Nathu arrived next morning to sweep the steps of the bank. He saw the refuse and the broken glass and the stones cluttering the steps. Raising his hands in a gesture of horror and disgust, he cried, "Hooligans, sons of donkeys," as though it isn't bad enough to be paid late. It seems my work has also to be increased. He smote the steps with his broom, scattering the refuse. Next day, as usual time, Nathu came there for sweeping the bank, sweeping the surrounding of the bank. He saw the refuse. Refuse means dust, rubbish things. The broken glass and the stones cluttering the steps. Lot of stones and pieces of bricks were there. Raising his hand in a gesture of horror. Oh, what might have happened here? What was the problem? Disgust. Disgust means hatred. Hooligans. The word is used for expressing anger on others. Smote. Make a heavy blow with a tool. He cried, "Hooligans, sons of donkeys." Those people are sons of donkeys. They have thrown here a lot of things, pieces of brick, pieces of stones, pieces of lot of woods, and many more things. Now I have the job to sweep. How to sweep now? He smote the steps with his broom, scattering the refuse. Instead of collecting that refuse, he started scattering. Next, page number 52, last paragraph. "Good morning, Nathu," said the washerman's boy, that is Sitaram, getting down from his bicycle. "Are you ready to take up a new job from the first of next month?" Once again, in the beginning, there was a meeting of Nathu and Sitaram. In the concluding part of the lesson, there is a meeting of Nathu and Sitaram. "Good morning, Nathu," said the washerman's boy, getting down from the bicycle. "Are you ready to take up a new job from the first of next month?" You will have to, I suppose, now that the bank is going out of business. Next day, What has happened? Nathu came as usual time for sweeping. He saw a lot of rubbish things were there, scattered were there, and uh, Nathu become very angry as his job was to clean the surrounding area. There was a lot of rubbish things. Now, how to sweep such rubbish things in very less period of time? Once again, there was a boy named Sitaram. He came there to meet and inform him about the job. I suppose now that the bank is going out of business. I suppose bank is going out of business. How's that? Said Nathu. Nathu surprised. How's that? How are you saying that? The bank is going out of business. Haven't you heard? Well, you'd better wait here until half the population of Nagar arrives to claim their money. And he waved cheerfully. He didn't have a bank account and sped away on his bicycle. There is a conversation between Nathu and Sitaram. Sitaram told Nathu, "Are you ready to do next job from the coming first of coming month?" Then he told, "Bank is going out of cash and out of business." Nathu surprised. How? How this incident happened? And after having that conversation, he left the place. Nathu went back to sweeping the steps, and Nathu went back for sweeping work, muttering to himself. When he had finished his work, he sat down on the highest step to await the arrival of the manager. He was determined to get his pay, that is, money back. Who would have thought the bank would collapse? He said to himself and looked thoughtfully into the distance. I wonder how it could have happened. Very funny. This is the person who spread the rumor. First was Nathu, then Sitaram, then Mrs. Srivastava, Mrs. Bhushan, Mr. Bhushan, Kamal Kishore, Deepchan, elderly gentleman from one shop to another shop. The rumor spread very rapidly like a forest fire, wildfire. Nathu went back to sweeping the steps. He was muttering himself. When he had finished his work, he sat down on the highest step to await the arrival of the manager. Now he was waiting for the bank manager. He was determined to get his money back. Who would have thought the money would collapse? Actually, nothing has happened. This is not the truth. Only it was a rumor. Who would have thought the bank would collapse? He said to himself and looked thoughtfully into the distance. I wonder how it could have happened. Nathu was the last person who have known the collapse of the bank. That bank is running out of business. Bank is having lot of no money at all. Nathu was the last person. See, very funny, interesting, humorous lesson. But one serious aspect of the lesson is that rumors are very dangerous, very harmful for the betterment of the society as well as individual. By the means of this lesson, Ruskin Bond wants to advise us we should not believe on rumors blindly. We must study the thing properly. We must try to reach at the root of the thing. Otherwise, it will be very, very harmful for us and our family. Be aware such rumors. Right now, many things are happening in the society. That is why it is our responsibility to study the matter with sense. Read the lesson, read the meaning of the words from the dictionary. You can use Navneet Guide for translation. You read translation You read words, their meaning, Marathi meaning. You can ask me on WhatsApp, you can message me, you can call me. Don't worry, the lesson is very easy. Take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.